What it is, what it do. You tune into the Jose Morales podcast. I'm your host, Jose Morales, and we're back in the ring, this time with a special guest, my man Bobby Omoto, aka Stand Up. Welcome on, baby. Thank you for coming on.
Man. Appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you for a lot of reasons. You made me do a lot of things that I didn't think I would ever do, and you made me push me to do it. We'll talk about that, but before we talk about that, I want to get familiar with your story, who you are, where you were raised. A lot of people from the gym, when I put here, hey, who you want to have on the podcast, you were mentioned. How do you feel about people wanting to know your story?
I appreciate that, that them wanting to hear me on. And I know some of them were saying that I'm quiet, and it's 5:30 in the morning, so I don't know what you psychos expect to hear from me at 5:30 in the morning. Like, I'm just waking up, so I don't know. They wanted me to be all funny in the morning. I'm like, I don't talk. I was like, I don't talk in the morning. I'm just here to hit a bag so I can get these demons out of my head, all right? It's just this negative energy. I'm not gonna in here like cracking jokes. And you're way up, so it's like, I appreciate someone, just doing the talking, and I just want to.
Right before starting, he was like, I'm way more talkative in the afternoon. He's like, come work out with me in the afternoon, I'm more talkative.
I am not a morning person, so for me to that was an adjustment I made in my life to like start waking up. I was like, I'm gonna start doing something I don't like doing, and waking up in the morning.
It's crazy too, because your schedule, like you up late.
Yes.
And then you show up early. How the fuck do you do that?
It's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. I get home at like 1 a.m. sometimes, and then I was coming to the, sometimes a 4 a.m. thing when I started doing that. But no, with the kids, it was just like I had 2 kids now, and then it's like I need to find time when I can actually wake up and like do my own thing, and it can be consistent. Yeah. And she wasn't up, and then once my fiance saw I was happy and I had a consistent schedule, then of course she wanted to interrupt it. So she's like, I need to work out in the morning now. And so she's been trying to work. All of a sudden, she needs to work out at 5:30 in the morning now.
Shout out to the fiance, huh? Nah.
She saw me smiling and coming home.
She's like, he's too happy. I mean?
Yeah, she's like, how do
I mess this up?
Yeah.
Let me get some of that happiness.
Yes.
So when's the wedding?
I haven't planned that yet.
Man, what the hell? You got engaged and...
Listen, man, I was getting pressured because we did a minority thing, all right? We bought a house, had the 2 kids. We
did everything backwards.
Yeah, I did everything backwards.
That's how I did it. I tell you, I was Mexican married for 10 years. I had kids, house, and then I got engaged.
I got the ring. I thought that would delay it a lot longer, but I'm getting a lot of pressure now from this wedding all of a sudden. But
you better do it, man.
I want a smaller wedding.
Is she asking?
I don't want a big one. What? Yes.
So she'd be like, what's up with the wedding?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Then it's on. You got to do it.
So, I don't know. I kind of want a small one now. I don't want a big one. I thought I want like a 300-person one now, but now I just want maybe just something small. So I'm not going to go in debt just because everyone wanted to drink.
Yeah.
That's what it is, I feel like my things, you have to have open bar with all my family and friends. So
yeah, I saw how you guys partied. It was your sister's birthday on the...
Oh, yeah.
And yeah.
Yes, so it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like that at the bottom there. I was like, damn, it's not, around my family.
I was like, what's going on in that room?
I know.
So just quick little recap. When I did the stand-up, it was the same day as his sister's birthday.
Yeah, it was her birthday.
And they did, at the backstage, they had the green room, and the door right next to the green room is another room, and it's just a whole bunch of people just drinking. And
I was like, tons of alcohol.
I was like, hold up, am I in the right place? Like, what the fuck is popping off in that room? It was Bobby's family turning up.
It was the Costco-sized bottles, too, so it's like, there's going to be a fight at the end of it. It's like the Kirkland vodka that's like a gallon, and the Patron, and the Casamigos, and all that, yeah.
So tell us about you, man. Where'd you grow up? Give us your history.
Sacramento, went to Natomas High School.
Yeah.
And then always played sports growing up, so I played baseball and basketball.
Oh, really?
All my life growing up. Played soccer for
competitively?
Yeah, all the way through high school. Baseball, I was probably better at. I started 4 years on varsity.
And then what happened after high school?
Went to Sac State, and I didn't like college. Like I got good grades in high school, so I'd always be in like honors classes and stuff like that. And then I went to college, and I knew everybody in high school, right? And that was a big change for me because I went to Sac State, and all of a sudden I didn't know nobody, and I was like. And I was just going to class and going home. I'm like, man, this sucks. Like everything I watched on TV, I was like, this is not what college is like. I watched partying and stuff, and then because I was like, this is not fun at all. Like I'm just doing homework.
Everyone tells you college is fun. You're like, hold up, this ain't fun.
Yeah. So then my brother was like, hey, I'm thinking about joining this fraternity. And I'm like, I don't even know what that meant. I think I'm about rushing a fraternity, so I didn't know what rush meant. I was like, I had no idea what that meant. So we went to this fraternity thing. I ended up joining like one of the largest it's like multicultural fraternity at Sac State.
Yeah.
And then that got me into like wanting to be there because I knew a bunch more people now. And then they had intramural sports and stuff, like stuff that I was still wanted to do. And then I became president of that. So then I was partying like crazy. So then that's like the Van Wilder life, because that's what I thought college was gonna be like. And I'm like, oh, this is now it is. So I live with 4 guys that was in the same fraternity, and then we were throwing crazy parties at our house and all this stuff.
So that's when college started.
Yeah, and that's when, you know, I was going to school for like a whole year, and I think I got 6 units. Like, I'm just partying too much, you know what I mean? And then so like I had to learn how to balance that.
So
like,
do you regret that?
No, hell no. I was in college for 6.5 years. I enjoyed it. The teachers were like, hey man, maybe you should, they kept seeing you hand flyers out in class. They're like, maybe you should like get out of here. You know what I mean? Like you should think about graduating. So I switched my major like 8 times.
Oh shit.
So I went in for criminal justice, went to English, like psychology.
Whole bunch of stuff.
Liberal studies.
So Antonio wants to know how, Antonio said this. He's ask him how his parents feel that he's Asian and a comedian and he's not a doctor or something like that.
And see, okay.
That's Antonio. Antonio said it, not me.
Very racist question, Antonio. Okay, my family, no, I don't have any goddamn doctors in my family, all right? My family's hella hood, all right? They're not good Asians, all right? My dad fixes everything with duct tape. If you went to my house,
he's Filipino, man.
It's,
he's not. No, I'm playing.
They're not, no, I don't have those trunks of money. You know, that's something
Okay.
like the Filipinos, their grandparents are super rich. Like, no. So it's not like that. But my parents got divorced when I was in 8th grade. So then my mom, I'll get to your question real quick, but I had a normal life and it was good. And then my dad had a like weird, he fights weird. So he's like, oh, you're gonna go after child support? And he got custody of us. He's like, I'm gonna quit my job too. And then we moved into an apartment. So now instead of us living in a 2-story house, it was 4 of us in like a 2-bedroom. And I still don't know why. He quit this job out of spite. He's like, oh, you're gonna try to, I already gave you the house, now you're gonna try to get more money? He's like, I'll just quit my job, which is really stupid. You know, because he never even like knew how to cook and stuff. So he's like taking care of us now, full time, but like now he doesn't have money. So it just got real hood in the
apartment. You get top ramen.
Yeah, top ramen and Kool-Aid, and then you know, like the first day he went to wash our laundry downstairs, then he came back up with an empty basket, and he's like, someone stole our clothes. And then he just went to sleep. I'm like, what? And he's like, he just went to sleep. He's like, oh, someone stole our clothes. I'm like, all right, I guess I don't have a basketball jersey anymore. So
shit.
Yeah, it was a completely different time in my life. So like that whole period of high school was like that. But no, after college, man, I was
did
looking
the
for
divorce
something to
mess
do.
with you?
Yeah, it made me realize that things don't always work out. Like things that maybe you thought were gonna work out and life's supposed to go a certain way, that it could be one way and then it can be a completely different way. And then also too, it made me not want to hold grudges and stuff. My parents didn't talk to each other for a while, and it made it, you know, it was a lot messier than I think it needed to be. But looking through it with emotions involved, I understand now I'm older. I understand a lot of the stuff, and now I actually realize I was like, you guys should probably got divorced 2 years before that.
Yeah.
Now I understand relationships and like how stuff works. Like you shouldn't, and that's one thing as a parent now, I'm like, I'm not gonna stay in a relationship just because of kids. It didn't make it better, that they probably prolonged it. You know, now that I look at it. But
They should have done it sooner.
yeah, they should have done it sooner, and they could have been more mature about it. You know, my mom's calling the cops on my dad, stuff like that. I'm going home in the cop cars all the time.
You for real you're not the typical Asian.
No, I'm
real,
going home
like,
in cop cars. My mom's accusing my dad of crazy stuff, man. You know, like just no. After all that.
So how was your relationship with your parents then and now? Is it different? Are you closer to one than the other, or is it the same?
Me and my dad didn't get along. We kind of like bickered a lot, and I think it was more because I like was probably closer to my mom at that point.
Yeah.
And he didn't like, you know, she ended up having a kid out of, you know, while she was still married. So it's like my half brother. And then she moved him in, and that's why I don't like guys with ponytails. This dude has a ponytail. So it's like, we're cool now, but it's just like, I didn't realize there was some deep inner things why I don't like dudes with ponytails.
No,
so she moved this dude in.
That shit messes with you. It's true though.
I know. I was on stage one time, and then there was so many ponytails in the crowd, and I didn't know why. I always roast them. You know what I mean? And it just, I don't know. I thought it was like a Steven Seagal thing. Like the movies I watched growing up, I'm like, you should only have one if you are Steven Seagal or like you own a karate dojo. Like that's the only reason you should have a ponytail. And then I realized where that anger was coming from. Maybe it was from this guy who came in and I thought ruined the family. But he's cool now. His name's Jeff.
He's cool. Yeah. He ain't that bad no more.
He shaved the ponytail off, so I don't know. But no, my mom's good with me doing, my mom's typical Filipino. She wants me to be safe. She's like, get an office job and finish school. And then I did all that, and I'm like, this is like hell for me. So right after college, I started bartending. I was always bartending, so I started bartending in nightclubs, and that was like a fun period of my life from like in my mid-20s all the way to like early 30s. Like I was having crazy fun. I was at the clubs that you guys are at, Avalon and Dream, and partying with like Kings players till like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I had a mohawk. I was a super douchebag at the time. You know what I mean? I was like, I was having dude, I had an apartment across the street from the nightclub.
Oh,
so
shit.
it was, and I was single at the time. So it was like it was a very,
You were turning it up.
it was a great time in my life. But after that, I was like, dude, I need to kind of do something maybe. I was like, I can't do this forever.
So how long did you do that for? To what age?
I do that too long too, probably 10 years. So I stayed in the game. Yeah, I stayed in the club game for a while. Yeah. And then I was like, I need to do something. So then that's when I got like an office job, but I did not like it at all. I was like, this is.
What did you do?
I started panicking a little bit because I was like, it started making me trip out that I'm like, wait, this is what some people in here want to do. And then they would see, they're like, oh yeah, don't you want to get to the director's office? Like that doorway right there. I'm like, your dream shouldn't be that close. Like, it's just a door. I was like, you walk in there and nothing changed. Like, this is not like.
Yeah.
And then I'd see people like work 30 years and then they do these retirement parties. You know what I mean? That I don't want to be at. It's a it's a potluck and everyone's bringing stuff. So it's just like, that environment's annoying anyway, but then all they get is like a watch and then they just leave. And then I remember someone they had like a stroke and then died a week after. I'm like, you waited all that time. You kept talking about this retirement that you were going to live and all this stuff. And like, so your entire life you weren't living and you were planning for this thing and you just passed away. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. And I was in a cubicle and I'm like, this is the worst. I didn't have any outlet for my creativity at all. So I would write some stuff on Facebook. I'd write like stories and stuff and it would get like funny posts. I've always liked writing. So it's like, I'd write funny posts and that was kind of my outlet. And then I started listening to a podcast and that's like when like they weren't big at all really. And then, I'd listen to like Rogan and like Bill Burr and then they'd start talking about how they got into comedy. And I'm like, oh, that's, because I had no idea. I just thought being, like I've always been like funny, I guess, but like I would be serving at a restaurant, right? Like on the border.
Were you the class clown?
Yeah, I would definitely say. I wouldn't say like always a class, but I would definitely say funny stuff like every now and then. There was way funnier people in my high school, like hood dudes that are just, you know what I mean? That are just hilarious.
So you were at this restaurant. Tell me about it.
So then, like I'd make my tables laugh, and that's how I'd get better tips. And I remember sometimes that's how I thought maybe you get into I don't know what my thought was, but I thought like if that was a dream at that point. I thought I'd be funny at a table and then some guy would turn around, eating his chips and salsa and be like, hey, you're coming on the road with me. Like, and he knew Eddie Murphy or something.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy that you bring that up? This is why I like doing this podcast because I feel like a lot of us don't know how to do things. Like for me as a kid, I thought boxing was like that. Like I liked boxing when I was a kid, but I didn't know how the hell do you get into boxing? You don't know like things like that. Like you, how the hell do you get into comedy? So I like that you bringing that up, how it's true. You don't know, but there is a way. So how did you find the way after that?
I started like kind of listening to those podcasts more and like, okay, I need to write some funny stuff down. And it's way different, I guess we can talk about it later too, is like when you actually like, it's easy to be funny when no one's expecting it. It's an addition to a conversation. You're like, oh, that was funny. But when people are staring at you and then like, you're supposed to be funny, the expectation is that, and especially when they paid money, it's like
you better be funny.
The first time I went, I just, I maybe got a few laughs, but it was just like that thing that I thought I was good at. One of the best characteristics, I guess, of my personality, to find out that I sucked at it. It was super humbling, man. Because I was like, I thought I was good at this, and then I'd see other people up there that were, you'd see all levels at, an open mic, but I'd see some people go up there, maybe like a Lance or something, and then they go up there and kill, and I'm like, oh, I'm not funny at all. Yeah. And I thought I was good at this thing. So it was definitely like a life-changing moment. I knew it was going to be the most difficult thing I'd ever tried to do.
What was the process like until you started getting comfortable? Was it a year, months, weeks? Like how long was from that humbling experience to the first time you went on and you were like, damn, I did good. Like that was good.
I used to not get up. So I remember I'd go up to comedy spot, there'd be 30 comics or 40 comics, and then, there's kind of clicky, so the people who show up, almost like a gym, who's who, so they're getting on, and I just wouldn't get up, and I'm like, I remember I went a couple times, and then they had a comedy class, they're like, yeah, if you sign up, then you can get in the top 3 if you go to this class, and I'm like, all right, I'll just do that, so then I always getting guaranteed to get up. So I started doing that, and then even after that, I didn't go up for a minute. I did that class for a little bit and it forced me to go. And then, I don't know, I realized kind of maybe I have anxiety, you know what I mean? And just all these, I'm like, this is way harder than you thought. It wasn't like, you're gonna do this a couple times, and all of a sudden you get on Showtime or Netflix wasn't even around. It's like it's hard. You're doing these mics. There's maybe four people by the time you go up sometimes. Then they're all comics.
Yeah.
In an empty room. Everyone's looking at their phone. So it was way different than I thought in my head. And I'm like, oh, if you really want to do this, you better think about this.
How do you handle that when you're up there and people are looking at their phone or not talking to you or not paying attention to you?
Depends if there's comics. Because if they're comics, then you need to say some stuff that they haven't heard before. So if you just try to do your set, it's not going to work. But if people are looking at their phones, and that's when you start talking
Picking
to
on
them.
them?
Yeah, you start, well, because there's two things that can happen. It's either I recite this, I guess there's three outcomes of any set. It's like I recite this stuff, you guys don't respond, maybe I bomb. I talk to you a little bit, and get out of this stuff, and then maybe you talk back. But it's like those two outcomes. But I'm like, I've done sets to where I started reciting and they weren't liking it, or just doing my material, and then it's a terrible feeling when you get through your thing and I'm like, I was bombing anyway. I should have just started messing with the crowd. Because I was at that point, I might as well take the risk.
Yeah.
And then that's why I started going to Touch a Class, somewhere where the Tommy T's did it. I started opening for a lot of the bigger black acts at the Tommy T's. And as soon as you sound super rehearsed, they check out and you're not getting them back. And it'd be a packed room. If I'm opening for Mike Epps or something like that. So it's you had to be way looser and then messing with the crowd. And I'm like, I started going to Touch a Class in Oak Park or out in Rancho, some of the more, and those rooms you couldn't be tied to your stuff. If it wasn't working, you better abandon it, start messing with the crowd, be present. And so those things helped out a lot in those situations. But I didn't go up for a year and a half after that class, because it was just it messed with me, but I'd always hang around it. So I'd keep coming to some people's mics and stuff. And
so how long was it? Until
maybe a year.
Until you felt comfortable and you were like, damn, I killed it? What was the first time that you killed the show? You're like, oh, fucking, I did amazing. Tell us that story.
Probably at an open mic. So when I came back, because I took a year off, but the thought in my head wasn't going away, because I was like, dude, this is gonna be hard. And then every day it would just be in my head, and when I'm sitting in the office, what are you doing?
Chuck Liddell talked about that.
You want to be here instead?
Yeah.
In this office? Because the office was, I was like, this. It's either I face this fear of going up and bombing and getting through it, which everyone who's successful has, or you sit in this office and then you see what your fate's gonna be.
I fucking love that. I love how you said that. I had to face my fear. Am I gonna sit in this fucking office and hate what I do? Or I go and fucking face it. That was badass how you said that. So you faced it and you did good?
No.
I thought you said that's when you did good.
No, my decision, a lot of things happened. I had a close friend named JR, my age, super good at sports, knew everybody. And he just passed away out of nowhere, just hooping on a basketball court.
During this time?
Yeah, it was during this time when I wasn't going up. And one of his last things, I wrote a funny thing, and he goes, I always read when Robert posts. I never read long things, but I always read when my boy posts something. And but it was just the fact that you just can go at any time. So I'm like, what are you being scared of? Because your time here, you don't get to pick when you go. Everyone thinks they're gonna go surrounded by family, in a bed, and you get to say your goodbyes. That's not how it happens. You just go. Because I saw it with the work person. I saw it with my boy JR, who was in good health. You know what I mean? And he has kids. And I remember he'd tell me about these plans, and I'm like, oh, you better go, dude. You don't get, what are you waiting for? You don't get a second chance at life. So I'm like, whatever that fear was that I was having, I'm like, it ain't gonna be, scarier than living out your thing and then regretting it if I do make it to 80 and then I'm, retired and I say, I don't want to live with all these what could have beens in my head. And so that was the big decision. And once I did that, I went to that open mic and then I just started going nonstop. And I said, if you do this, you can't stop.
Yeah.
And
go
that
full
was,
throttle.
Yes.
So how long you been at it now?
7.5 years.
Oh, shit.
But
how is it with at home? How does your wife feel with you coming home at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning? I mean, I would say fiance.
Yeah.
Fiance.
She was good. Oh, wait, what were you saying about Chuck Liddell?
No, so, I didn't even mention that. So, Chuck Liddell mentioned that once, there was in a podcast with Joe Rogan. You should hear it. Chuck Liddell's and Joe Rogan's podcast. I didn't hear the whole podcast, but I heard this clip, and it's good because it's similar to boxing. It's similar to everything. And I feel like everything's similar. It's just different fields. They all play the same role. But he mentioned that after he got knocked out the very first time, every time after that, he wasn't the same. He would always get knocked out. And he was like, man, it was just in the back of my head. And he went into detail how that worked. And it's crazy, scientific, deep, like full detail. I can't explain it the way he explained it, but he did an amazing job explaining it. And it's true. When something happens to you or it's in your head, it's like PTSD in a way. I don't know. It's just constantly there, and you have to fight it. You know what I mean?
You make it a lot worse in your head too.
Yeah, you make it a lot worse.
Because like you'll imagine stuff that didn't happen. Like after I bombed, like the best thing to do now, or after something bad happens like that, is you get on stage as quick as possible. Because the longer you let it fester in your head, you start adding things to it that didn't happen. Like, oh yeah, and then this guy yelled this, and sometimes you go back and listen to the recording because I tape all my set, and it's like it was not as bad as you thought. And sometimes it is, but like sometimes you're like, whoa, you thought you had a good set? That was horrible.
Yeah.
But I tell that's why I'm very sympathetic to new comics, because I know how hard it is starting out. So if I'm at like an open mic or whatever, and now I've been around, they'll put me up, I get to go up whenever usually or something, but I'm very sympathetic to them because I'm like, I remember sitting on the outside of a circle and like coming into comedy, I'd never been on the outside of something. I was always, I knew people, I was always like friends with everybody. And to think you're good at something or one of your strongest characteristics, and all of a sudden I'm sitting on the outside and like nobody was talking to me. I'm like, oh, this sucks. So I always can recognize when someone's starting. I always make sure I go out of my way to like talk to those people, give them links to like where this, what it is like and what you should focus on.
You know why you're like that? Because you remember being there.
Yeah, and I remember the people who weren't cool, who just didn't talk to me. And they're like, and I don't know if that was like, if you go back, you're like, were they actually like that, or was I just was I myself not being outgoing?
Yeah, I had a couple experiences like that too, where I'm like, the fuck, was he trying to do that? Or was he trying to be, well, hold up, try to go punch his food?
But that's why your gym is dope, and I've told you this, because I've been to other gyms, and like, as soon as you get in here, from the front counter to everyone, you guys are very welcoming, knowing that, you talk to everyone like the same, whether they're experienced or not, and then you make them feel very welcome. You guys make an effort to know everyone's name and everything. And I was like, that goes a long way in making fit. Because this is not an easy thing to walk into.
Yeah, hell no. It's hella intimidating.
Yeah, most guys think they have to like come in here and fight on their first day. My brother was like that. I tried to get him in the gym, like, you got to come. You should come and do things. He's like, no, I got to get in shape first. What are you talking about? You got to get in shape. He's like, I got to get in shape. I'm like, what? I don't know what that means. And he's like, just in case, I was like, you think you're going to fight the first day? What are you talking about?
Just come.
So, yeah.
That is a good point. Thank you for the compliment, man. That means a lot. How long you been here now?
He paid me to say that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like, it's written on a teleprompter.
Yeah, right here. Everything. Like, Make sure that's next, all right?
No, this part will be edited out.
So how long you been here now? In the gym, how long you been? A year, huh?
Like that, yeah.
I was telling Scott, I'm like, I couldn't remember how long you had been here. What is your favorite thing about the gym? If you had to pick one thing, what's your favorite thing about it?
It's just positive. The energy in here is like everyone's always in a, and I know everyone's not always in a good mood, but like it's very positive in here, and then just the way encouraging, and even people, you know what I mean? Like if you guys have a full class and there's like a lot in here, you almost feel like you're getting individual lessons with everyone still. Like, and they still you guys make a group effort to like be able to still address everyone and give them, so like if I'm in here with 20 people, I still learn something. You know? So I think I always feel like I learned something, and then the energy always in here is just good, from just, kids smiling, running around, to you guys, pulling people aside and talking to them. I think that's good, because I've been into, I won't even name the gym, but like I've been to other gyms and it's not like that. They were focused on the people that they're main fighters or whatever that made them money. Yeah,
that makes sense. That's exactly like, I think how you said earlier that you talk to comics that are starting off and you want to make sure you're there for them, and because you remember what that was like. I kind of feel that way with every aspect of the gym, from someone that's the staff to a member to a kid. I remember being unwanted. I remember being an employee. I remember what all that's like, and I try to not have that barrier where there's no, you're a employee, you are a member, you are a fighter, you are not a fighter. I don't give a fuck what you are. You're a human, and you're here, and that's what matters. And I'm gonna treat you like that, and I'm gonna care for you. It doesn't matter if you're fighting next week or you're overweight. I don't care about that. I'm here to help you be a better you. And that's kind of what I try to pass down with everybody. And I made it that way, similar to you, with how, because I experience all that. You know what I mean? I've seen the way people walk out of gyms when they walked in sad and they left maybe even worse. You know what I'm saying? And I experienced seeing kids like that. I experienced all that. And I'm glad that you were able to experience and catch that and acknowledge that, because I do make it, and we all do, I make it a point to make sure it's not like that. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, I could tell when they are not in a good mood by the exercises you guys choose. All right, I know when something ain't going right. All right,
He's like, oh, shit.
I told David the other day, he's like, something was like 5 rounds of burpees. I'm like, hey, what's going on at home, bro?
Yeah.
Like, we can talk. Why don't you let Antonio take this over? And we could talk, all right? Maybe it's not your fault, all right? Maybe she's tripping. Let's talk.
Yeah, maybe she's tripping.
5 rounds of, it was for the warm-up, I think. It was I think I grabbed like
Hey, David, so out of all the coaches, be honest, which one is the most difficult one?
What do you mean, for workouts?
Workout. Be honest. You're not gonna hurt no one's feelings. I talked about it right before
because
this.
they all switch though. Like it depends on what days. That's what I'm saying. It depends on who you catch it on. Now, Antonio's way more level-headed. Like you could tell. Unless I talk shit to him, I told him sometimes too. I'm like, damn, fool, I could have stayed home if I wasn't gonna sweat. But I wasn't coming to the second one. I told him I was coming to the second one, so he was gonna take it on in the second.
That's fucked up.
I was like, no, probably Dave. No, because David knows what's hard. So he knows like what, like he knows exactly which one. Like some of the, I'm like the order that he picks because he's been doing it longer.
Yeah, David be messing people up. I was just telling him.
Yeah, I mean, he's like pushing the sled around the building.
But everyone's very different and the same at the same time. I think
Right.
we're all different and the same. It's weird.
But
we have a good blend.
The workouts could be like some workouts are way harder sometimes, and they were just cardio. You know what I mean? Like then the leg stuff.
I'll be real. I'll tell you. I pick one day a week where I'm an asshole. That's just me.
You feel good?
One day you feel
You
good.
look forward to that? No, does that feel good? Do you look forward to that day? Is it different every week?
No, it's just different.
Come on,
I'm
that goddamn day. I was like, what day is this?
It's just one day a week where I'm gonna kill you. And I'm not a believer in killing you every day. Like I make it where it's gonna be good, learn, fun, and then one day out of nowhere it's just surprise, bro.
But are you just smiling down the 80 driving? Like,
I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait.
He's like, a parachute? I'm bringing a parachute.
Yeah, I'm
into this
y'all
one,
up.
running on a treadmill with a parachute.
You got to experience the gym for a year. You did the Warrior program. Tell us a little bit about that too. So you were doing the classes. You transitioned to the Warrior for a little bit. Tell us what that was like.
That was just cool, just to because like everything, the experience it, and then the testing of everything, just knowing all the stuff. Because I came in knowing some stuff, but like it was just your guys are way more technical with everything, and especially knowing like what your exact requirements are to do everything. But if I was not even if I was just younger, but if I can't have too many things, do too many things. Because I start to get like. That's one thing I thought
I was telling you, I'll tell everybody, you have to do this stuff when you're young before you got family. Because when you got family, your priorities change.
Yeah.
Like you got to take care of your home, your kids, your wife, and all that, and then yourself, and then your work. So I totally get it, man.
Because Vanessa was cool with me. She's cool, but when you asked that one thing, she's very cool with me doing comedy. I met her. She's my sister's best friend. So.
Your sister's best friend?
Yeah, my sister's best friend. She married my best friend too, so I was like, I got you back.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty dope. So you guys are all close then?
Yeah.
That's super dope.
But so and then when I got single, whatever, that my family been trying to hook me up. My sister took control of my life. She's like, you've been making bad decisions, getting a lot of go-go dancers.
Here's my best friend.
Yeah, a lot of go-go dancers. There's a lot of people in go-go boots and cocktail waitresses, tattoo. It was all ending the same. They were all swinging on me. Every single girl was swinging on me. That's why I get in here to self-defense. I'm like, I'm not for fight dudes. I need a block. That's why I want to pay attention when you guys. I was like, I need a block. I get swung on a lot. This mouth gets me in trouble.
And then, comedy too now. You see Will Smith, so you better be ready.
Oh, I know. I be talking shit too, and then people come up. I'm like, I don't know what they're gonna do,
Yeah.
But no. So then she was very cool with me doing comedy because she knew, and I told her that in the beginning. I said, hey, if I'm doing this thing, if it's a problem, which it has been to some people, then maybe you should, this is like maybe think about leaving now because I'm not gonna stop, and this can't be an issue where you make me feel bad about doing anything. Yeah. And the amount that I have to put into it. She knew. So she's very supportive and she pushes me. She's a very good balance. So she'll tell me I'll be chilling there if she sees me going crazy.
Does she have a hobby or something that she's like into or like thriving or like?
She started getting into like, what do you call that? Spiritual stuff. I don't know if that's good.
What do you mean spiritual stuff?
Like afterlife stuff and just like
Hold up. You gotta go into detail. What do you mean spiritual stuff? And then you just say afterlife.
Like, she's Puerto Rican and Mexican, but she got into like a lot of white girl with hemp necklaces stuff. You know what I mean?
Like
tarot
mushrooms
cards.
and stuff?
No, like tarot
Psychedelics or
cards. No. Or maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, maybe.
But like just spirituality and afterlife.
That's cool.
You know that Tyler Henry dude, the medium dude?
Okay.
Like,
This very new to her, or is it like?
Yes, I told her she needs to get a hobby, and that's what she chose. So
Hey, your time to be supportive.
Because I told her, I was like, I do this, I do comedy. I was like, you need to find something. I was like, I don't care what it is, but it needs to be your own thing. Like, it can't be
art thing.
Yeah.
Something for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Because Antonio was like, why don't you bring in the gym? I was like, absolutely not. You're not coming to my thing, all right? and then trying to take over my thing. You go find your own thing.
Yeah.
And do that.
No, that makes perfect sense.
So yeah, I don't remember what your question was. But that felt good to get that off my chest.
I think you went off. I said you got with your sister's best friend, and then you just took that and ran with it. And we kept talking.
I think I forgot because you asked if she was supportive.
That's
of it.
Yeah.
Because it is a hard thing. I come home hella late sometimes, and I've been better about that balancing. I think the kids helped out a lot about that, realizing, being much more efficient with my time, and finding out where what's necessary and what's not. And if it's not about comedy or whatever, trying to push that forward, then I don't really want to. I shouldn't be doing it. Oh, that's what brought it up. Is she said she's very supportive of everything in the Warrior program, and she saw me waking up at 4, and then she's having to watch the kids more. She's like, no, you're not doing another thing. She's like, no. She's like, you're already doing, you have to do the day job, and then be with the kids, and then this, and then she's like, you're not. Because I told her I need sparring gear, and then that's when she was like, "No, you're not. This is not she's like, "You're not doing this right now." Because and then because I was having to take naps during the day, because I'm waking up, because I would get home sometimes at 1, and then have to wake up for the Warrior programs at 4, the one I was going to, which really means you have to wake up at 3. You know what I mean? To be up, and stretching or whatever. I'd be eating apples because I know I got here one day at 3:30. I think Antonio ran by my car and scared the shit out of me. I'm like, these dudes are doing this for real in here. Like, I'm in here, I just got done cussing some dude out about his hat in goddamn San Rafael. I was like, these fools are in 8 hours of sleep, in here. And as soon as I told you I do, you're like, yeah. I was like, this is like not a older person thing. You're like, yeah, no. I'm like, why'd you tell me that before? You just let me in. You could have told me. He's like, no, I completely understand. He's like, yeah, you're just definitely a younger person thing. I'm like, why'd you tell? You guys hyped me up.
You're not that old.
Huh?
Amy started doing it at 32.
Okay.
She's 36.
Okay.
So I don't want to be like, hey, you're old. You can't do it. I can't discriminate.
I have no.
After you said you're old, then I agree. I'm like, you're right. You are old. I just wasn't going to say it first.
And it wasn't even the stuff. I just knew, I was like, okay, if these dudes have, and this is how I look at a lot of things, I'm very rational. I'm like, if these dudes are coming in here every day and they're already more skilled than me, and I'm gonna come in not as much as them, and I gotta spar them, I'm not gonna catch up. So I was like, you're just gonna start getting, I might get a little better, but I can't, the amount of effort I need to put in to probably maybe catch them is not gonna, my comedy's gonna go everything else in my life is gonna go way down. You know what I mean? She'll probably break up with me, and now I'm over here.
Back to the go-go dancers.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get to the Olympics. I'm in my 40s and stuff. And the story's not gonna end how I think, It's gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll be like on ESPN. I'm gonna get knocked out, right? I'm knocked out, and then you're gonna be in the ring. You're like, wow, you should have ducked or something. You gotta keep that left hand up. I'm like, all right, I've had 5 concussions in a row, and I have CTE now, Jose. I want my money back.
I want my money back. Hey, how did you feel when I went to go watch you the first time at Last Unlimited, and I told you I wanted to do stand-up?
I didn't know you told me that at the end of the show.
Oh, no, but I had told you that also in class one time we were training. I think I told you.
Yeah. I thought you could do it because you're used to talking in front of people, even though it's a little different. But your timing and everything was like, I could tell you can do it.
It does help though. Because one thing that with teaching class and people, I pay attention a lot to energy. So I can kind of pay attention when someone is on their phone, even though they're not physically on their phone when they're working out, but similar, when they're checked out, they're not really here. They're like, that's like on their phone. When I see somebody.
Oh, they're just like, if you're saying do 1, 2 fast
and they're like 1, 2 fast and they're still there. 1, 2 hard is still like this. I'm like, all right. Then I know to like start picking on them. I'm like, hey, I'm talking to you, okay? Bobby, stand up. All right, we're doing this, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that kind of helped me when I did it, be aware of the crowd, which was hella faster than I was
So here's the thing. I don't produce a lot of shows. So it's like, the only show that I had was this big ass one at the Crest Theater. And then so it's like, I have that. Like I don't have like smaller shows at whatever. I throw things like every couple months just so my friends and family can come out. Cause I'm like, oh yeah, just come to this one. Cause they'd always ask like, hey, I want to come to a show. And sometimes you tell them to come and it's like, maybe not the best show or the day they're available. I've had people, this one dude, he's my comedy kryptonite. I went to high school with. He's only came out to 2 shows since I've been doing this. And both times, it's just him and his girl in the crowd. Like there was no one there. And they still did the show. And he's like, no, I want to stay and support. I'm like, I don't want you to stay. I want you to leave. Because now we have to do this. This is embarrassing and degrading. You know what I mean? And he's like, he thinks he's being supportive as he's staring there with his mouth open, like, this is what you do? I'm like, and maybe he feels better about his life, which I assume he's doing, staring at me like, at least I'm not this guy. And
why didn't he go to the Crest? The Crest was cracking.
Because he only comes to the bad ones. While she's gonna hit me up again, it's gonna be something like I'm on top of a trash can or wherever I'm performing. I'm in an alley. He's like, oh yeah, I can make it to this one. Of course you can, Robbie. God damn. I shouldn't be that mad at him because he's coming out to be a nice guy, but I'm just saying, both shows he came to.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
So,
contemplating.
Back to the question. How'd you feel when I told you I was gonna do it? Did you believe me?
No, I thought you might just say it and then like whatever. And I had that date. I'm like, I would have been fine with you bailing on it.
Yeah, I remember you told me right before this you thought I was in the bail.
No, but then your confidence and your delusion is insane because that's when I know I was like, dude, this dude's crazy. And I'll do 20 minutes. And I'm like, first of all, that's a lot. I don't even know if anyone was getting 20 minutes at a time. But that's what I thought. I was like, okay, I know what kind of dude Jose is. First of all, his gym is called the Jose Morales Boxing Gym. So like, who tells him to do anything? I was like, so me even having to make rules, I wasn't even sure it was gonna work for you. To be honest, I was like, who even in Jose's life tells him what to do? Maybe your wife, she can tell you that. I was like, but otherwise, you walk around here and you just get to make all these fake rules up, right? Like, hey, you got to put the towels over there today. Like, why? For no reason. Hey, there's no goddamn lesson behind it, kids. All right, nobody
just put him over there.
Yeah, it's not to teach you anything. He's in a weird mood.
I told him I wanted 20 minutes. That's how much time I wanted. He looked at me like I was fucking crazy.
And because everyone's first time is always just like 3 to 5. That's only 3 to 7.
You made a good point though. You said you got to make people laugh. You said laughs for, I forgot you told me, every 30 seconds or every 3 minutes or 3, you said it in a certain.
4 to 6 laughs per minute.
Yeah, 4 to 6 laughs per minute. That's what you told me. After you told me that shit, I went to the car. I was like, hold up, how many fucking laughs do I got in this bitch?
If you have a minute go by or it's just quiet, that's really long. And then your setup, you just put more pressure on your punchline. So that setup better hit. Like have like 9 punchlines after it.
Yeah. I wish, me personally, I was like, man, I wish I could have slowed it down and paid attention more to the people. I was locked. And now I look back at it, I'm like, fuck, I should have done this, I should have done that. And it hits me with so many things.
It was your first time. I know
it was my first time. I know, I'm a perfectionist. I'm like, man, I could have done better. I'm like, it was on my head.
But that's the exact same thing after in any performance I do. It's I go back, no matter how it goes, I just focus. I don't know if that's good.
I think it's good.
I think it's good
depending on how hard you are on yourself. Like if you're so hard that it's fucking you up and you're messing with your confidence, then I think it's it becomes bad. But if it's hard that it pushes you and you make you work harder and you get better from it, then I don't think it's bad. I think it's good. It's pushing you to get better. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's the thing when I talk to newer comics, they'll like, oh, that was good. And I'm like, no, I'm just thinking about the one thing I did wrong. You know, I'm like, oh, you stuttered right here. Like, I don't care how the rest of the thing went. I'm like, this specific thing.
I looked it up before, and I think this is one of the things that made me want to do it even more. They said stand-up comedy is the hardest thing anyone could ever do. They said it's probably the hardest thing. Because literally, like how you said, you stand up there and you have to make people laugh, and they're expecting you to laugh, and they're just staring at you. It's the most uncomfortable, scary thing for a person to do. And I was like, fuck, I want to do that. I mean, that sounds fucking crazy, and I want to be able to say I've done 2 of the craziest things. I got up on stage and fought somebody, and I got on stage and made people laugh. And it made me want, the fact that I heard that was one of the hardest things people do that people will never do, made me want to do it even more.
Wait, okay, because you wanted to do stand-up just off a whim. When you started fighting, did you want to take a fight way earlier than your coach thought you should?
No, to be honest, I fought in 5 months. So I fought really soon.
But because you wanted to? Were you telling him?
I think because I wanted to, because I was there, and because my coach saw the potential in me and he thought I was ready. And I won, and it went great. But I never pushed my coach on his decisions, but I did fight real soon. I don't know. It's just something, it hit me. To be real, I wanted to do stand-up. The first time it crossed my mind is one time after watching George Lopez.
Oh, yeah, he's a monster.
I was like, man, I could do that shit. And then I started looking into it. And then my brother always busts his jokes. And I'm like, man, this shit sounds fun. I think I could do this. I'm like, I want to do it one time just before I did it. And that's when I brought it up to you. Because I was like, you know what? If I'm ever going to do it, I'm going to ask the guy that does it. And I'm going to tell him, if there ever is a position for me to do it, I'll make it happen. I'll fucking do it.
No, that was cool you guys came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember I kept thinking, I was like, yeah, tell them to stand. And people, I was wondering if people think you guys call me stand up because they think I can fight. I was like, that has nothing to do with that. I was like, now everyone here wants to kick my ass because they're like, why call you stand up? Like you good at the stand, like your hand, like no, absolutely not, man. I'm just over here trying to look good. I'm just trying to maintain. I never even worked out like this in my 20s. I wish I did. I was like, but I'm like, no, I'm over here trying to not have a dad bod. All right, and that's what I'm trying to do. But no, that George Lopez, he's like you go back and listen to his first album, like his first couple ones, like you know the Jack in the Box joke, like. I listen to them in the car, and even then, it's always good to be around or hear things like that because that stuff seems impossible. And even now, I see a bunch of, and you probably see it there when you go to these national things. I see a bunch of people where I'm like, and it constantly being around people who are better or they inspire you to be better. But there's like, I'm like, how is this dude not famous? You know what I mean? Like I see people like that I've seen people don't know who they are and they get a standing ovation. You know, I'm like, how's this guy not? Everyone in America knows this dude. Yeah. So and I'm like, well, maybe did something go wrong, or I don't, you know.
Your show, the one you did at the Crest, you had some badass comedians on there, bro.
Oh yeah,
I was blessed to be a part of that. Look, no joke, everyone on there was hilarious. I thought it was great, like all of them.
And JR is freaking selling out theaters now too. Like, and he started doing the social media thing, kind of like you, posting like clips and stuff. And like, he's selling out theaters now, and he's already been on Netflix. But that's one thing that made me more motivated and continuing to push is because like a lot of guys that that started a little bit before me or like whatever, in Sacramento especially started to get stuff. Like we had 3 years in a row for Stand Up NBC. It's for it's pretty much for minorities, but it's like it's almost like America's Got Talent, American Idol. So it's like for all across the country. It's in like Chicago, New York, like whatever, LA and whatever. The 3 winners in a row came from Sacramento.
What?
Yeah, and it's a nationwide competition. So if you're, yes, the first time when I thought that I did good was at Luna's when I first came back, and then I got some laughs, and then some guy came up from the audience. Because I was leaving, he's like, dude, you're hella funny. And I was like, what? And he goes, dude, that was hella funny in there. He's like, I just gotta come out and tell you. And I was like, okay. And then another comic told me I should come back.
Feels good, huh?
Yeah, and another comic finally talked to me. He's like, dude, he goes, because I know you came out one time and then stopped coming out. He's like, you should keep coming out.
No, yeah,
and
you're hilarious.
It was just,
I think you're hella funny, man. I enjoy watching your stuff in person and even the clips you put on, man. I love your stuff.
I appreciate it. I paid him to say that too. We're both reading.
We're both reading. No, I'm serious. If you haven't watched him, you guys gotta like go check out one of his upcoming shows. Or even if you don't believe me, go on his Instagram, watch his clips. One of the funny ass shit. The one you did at Marysville, you're like, what the fuck am I? Where?
Goddamn place.
No, anyways, he's hilarious. I love what I like about your comedy is like you connect with like your environment. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're like what's going on here, and then you could tell you're telling stories that are real, like things that happen. Like with the girl on the bicycle.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a true story.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, and that I think that's what makes it like connect more, and it's like you're not being fake or you're not, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I love it. To be real, I enjoy it very much.
That was a lot when you're asking about my parents and stuff. So I didn't grow up like, I guess like a traditional Asian family like that. So I grew up, kind of like I just hung around all these different types of people because it's like once my parents got there, I kind of just like hung around a bunch of different people. Like one of my best friends was Mexican. I had another best friend that was Jewish, but then I was on the basketball. I was the only non-black dude on the basketball team. Yeah. But I played baseball too, and the other Asians are breakdancing. I'm like, why am I going to spin on cardboard? That made me so mad. I'm like, and then what? And then what? I was like, you have cardboard in here and a helmet. I was like, and then what? And then what? I was like, you do this windmill. And I think maybe I felt, and until this day, I want to know how to break dance. I was like, damn it. I was like, they would just invite me. I never got the invite. So maybe I resent things that I want to do. You know what I mean? Like I don't like people that hacky sack. but it looks fun, right? Like, but I don't want to be that dude. So I don't know. That shit annoys me. I'm in a park and I see them and they're all having a good time. It's like, you don't want to go like knock them out?
Why are they having so much fun?
Yeah. Because you guys plan this. You guys all hit each other up. You guys free at 5 and then you meet at the park and you all get in the same car. And I assume they all have ponytails or man buns. And they're just kicking it and they're having a great time. And no one says nothing. They're just smiling and like no one said, hey, maybe we should do this. All right.
Fucking stupid. So what's your goal, man? What's your long-term goal? Where do you see stand-up Bobby in 5 years, 6 years? Where you want to be?
I kind of like want to do my own thing as far as like, I don't know if you've seen him on social media or whatever, but Andrew Schultz, he's kind of like the pioneer for comedians kind of doing their own thing. Like he just started, like he was trying to do stuff the normal way, like industry stuff and like get on TV and then it just wasn't working. Or even if he did get on it, it wasn't like a good thing. So he started kind of like just doing his own thing. And his like podcast got big and started just posting clips of his stand-up and his stand-up started going viral on that when no one would buy his. He had tried to sell it to like Comedy Central and Netflix and they weren't buying it. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, millions of people started liking him. And then so he started doing his own thing. And I think that's, the more I look at it, the direction I want to go is just like being in control of that, because I've had some things to where it's like a TV thing and it's like, you get put in things, it's not necessarily your strength or something you didn't even want to do.
Yeah.
You know, like I was on a TV thing and I'm like, I wouldn't even write like this. Like they gave me lines and they're like, hey, if you want to rewrite them, you can. And I rewrote every single one.
Yeah.
You know, I came.
You want to be
thing.
yourself.
Yeah, I was like, I would never say this. You know what I mean? But you're doing it for the thing. And I'm like, oh, this isn't like how you'd want to be portrayed. You know
This
what I mean?
reminds me a lot of boxing. The more I get familiar with comedy, the more it reminds me of boxing. Because I feel like boxers now are they get paid like entertainers. And they're not being paid as athletes. What I mean by that is how popular you are, how many tickets you sell. It doesn't matter how good you are.
Right.
Kind of like how you're saying. It don't matter how good you are, but if Comedy Central doesn't like your shit, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? But now with social media and all this and all the other ways, you can easily be your own boss now where you're kind of like, I sell my own shit. You know, and you're in control.
What do you think about them dudes like Logan Paul? Do you think they help boxing? Like those type of things?
I do for sure.
Some good undercards.
No, yeah,
right?
I think Jake Paul, to be real, me personally, the very first time Jake Paul fought, I think he fought Mayweather. I don't remember who it was. No, it was Mayweather. The
bigger one, yeah, the big.
When he fought Mayweather, I was upset with it, not because of Jake Paul and what he's doing. I was upset with it because on the Mayweather side.
Yeah, why are you taking it?
Yeah, why are you taking it when you have? Because look, Mayweather is he owns a promotional company, so he has all these boxers underneath, hoping to make it big, fight on big cards, make money, and nothing. So he has all these guys that he's supposed to be in charge of guiding and making sure that they're successful in boxing. But as soon as there's a big event or something, he jumps on it and
he takes it
and he collects it. It's almost like the best way for me to describe it is if I have a person that's gonna drop $3,500 on privates right now, and suddenly I'm like, hold up, Antonio, David, Alex, hold up, that's me. I'm taking that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of that. It's in a way that's the way I saw it. People saw it differently and da. I was upset on the Mayweather side of it. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul, he wasn't doing nothing wrong. He's a YouTuber that had all these followers, convinced a boxer to box him to make millions. Hey, he's doing his shit. I was upset about it on that side. But then Jake Paul, he's doing a really good job at taking care of boxers. He's putting like all these boxers underneath him. He takes care of them, meaning he's doing what Mayweather should be doing. You know what I'm saying? He's taking care of his boxers and putting them on. I think he's doing good. I mean, I think he's doing the right thing, getting built up the right way. I think he'll eventually be good. I'm not saying great, like legit, but he'll be good enough to compete and he'll do all right. I mean, he'll do all right because he sells tickets. You could be shitty, you sell tickets, you're gonna make money. You know what I mean? You're a comedian. It's like this.
Yeah.
If you're a shitty comedian, like me, I was able to be there because I know you, because I had people come and support me from the gym. None of that makes me a good comedian. I have people supporting me. You could do that in boxing. if you get people that believe in you are gonna go watch you, all these subscribers, you got all these people, they'll go watch you. That doesn't mean you're a good fighter. You have people that are there.
Do you encourage your fighters to do that? Like, do you want them to
do what? Promote themselves?
Yeah, on social media or like build a following like that?
I do encourage that on them just because it's such an important thing in boxing. I mean, you have to. I mean, if you don't sell tickets and people don't know who you are, it doesn't matter how good you are. It's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like basketball or something. It was like, oh, I don't encourage my point guard to run the post. It's part of basketball. You should still know what to do if someone's doing that to you. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the game. So,
but how would you do that if one of your fighters start blowing up on social media, but they're not at that level? Like, you would still have to like control the fighting would have to match the level they're at versus what they're maybe being offered.
Yeah, I think honestly the way I would approach that is where they're at in their career. Like, if you're 40 years old, hey, fucking take this fight. You're gonna make millions, get your ass kicked, who cares? You never fight again. You know what I'm saying? And you never fight again. But if you
see the career path he would have had me on right here. I dropped out that goddamn front. He's like, hey.
No, but
his brain's already messed up.
No, I'm saying, I'm being realistic though. That's the way I would probably go about it. But if you're 18, you have potential, who cares? Hold off on this. Like, you can do a whole lot more. I think that's how I would take that. I mean,
but it is like comedy in a way because like the clubs don't care if you're just like, you've been a headliner for a long time. The people who can sell out the tickets, which they've had, people are big on YouTube sensations or social media, they sell out the club and all of a sudden they're headlining a club. They're not a legitimate headliner. Like, if they had to go against people that you saw, like, they'd not be able to follow them. But it doesn't matter because they have a following. They're there to see them. And the club doesn't give a shit if you're funny. They just care. That's how it's like the waitresses need to make money, the bartenders, and that's
exactly how boxing is. Yeah. That's exactly how boxing is. Look, they don't give a if you're good or not. You fill up tickets, you sell pay-per-views, you're the main event. You're the main event. And to me personally, I think that's wrong because yes, they're entertainers, but they're athletes. I mean, these are people that dedicate their whole life to it, and there should be a system where you are treated like an athlete. What if Tom Brady didn't sell tickets? Oh no, hold up. Kick him off we don't want him on the team. He don't sell no tickets. The fuck? That's Tom Brady. What you mean? You know what I'm saying? That's how boxers get treated.
Yeah, well, because I mean, and then some of these guys, like they just pop up on my Instagram or something. I'm like, and they have hella followers. I'm like, does dude have a record? Like I don't know who he is. Like I haven't seen him like fight. And I see hella training videos. Like, I don't know if this guy's good. You know what I mean? Like he looks good on the pads.
Don't get fooled with followers. There's a lot. You could buy followers.
That's true, right? Yeah. They all have the the Arabian, no default, no pictures, and when you look at the stuff, you look at them, I was like, what
they
about
got a whole bunch of bots,
here, man?
It's like, hold up, who the hell are these people? That's hella funny. I'm gonna start hitting you up with some random questions. You ready for the random questions? Yeah. So first, what's your favorite place to go eat out here?
Out in Roseville? Because I live out here now.
Anywhere.
I like to go to Azul down the street.
Where?
Azul down the street, the Mexican restaurant.
Where's that one at?
It's right on Foothills.
I don't think I've been there. Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah. Azteca?
Yeah, Azteca. Did I say Azul? Azteca, yeah.
Azteca. Yes. Azul is in downtown.
No.
By Mangos.
No, I like Tres Hermanas downtown. Tres Hermanas downtown if I go there.
All right. Tell us something about stand-up not that many people know. Tell us something about you that not that many people know.
About myself?
Anything, whatever you want to say. Anything about you not that many people know.
Like comedians and like friends, they like seeing each other bomb. So it's like, you don't like want someone to do bad, but it's funny it's funny when you know someone who's funny, like not do well.
That's
like we enjoy that about each other, like, cause you know what I mean? I have very honest friends, which that's the only thing too I keep, like, if I get off and like I ate it, I don't want someone to give me a high five and saying, I'm like, oh, I don't trust you. You know what I mean? Like I am very honest, like I'll just go home, not touch anyone I feel like it's contagious. So like, I'm very superstitious. Like if I bomb in a shirt, I'm never wearing that shirt again.
Yeah.
There's a red sweater in my closet.
Hey, I'm like that too.
I won't wear that shit again.
I'm like, I'm the same way. I'll even, like for example, at Nationals one time, we were having, I think a couple people lost earlier in the day in the afternoon. I fucking showered, changed, everything. I'm like, hold up, I gotta get that fucking negative vibes off me.
Yes.
But you got away from my question. He's sneaky. What? I said, tell us something you don't know about you. Tell me something. He said, oh.
What he said about comedy? Did he say comedy?
Something about you. Tell me something about.
Did you hear comedy?
No, he's trying to.
There's 100 people in here, by the way.
No.
I sold a lot of tickets to this. A lot of people want to watch me talk live.
Yeah.
Standing room only.
They're over there. Shh.
Let me see.
So tell us something about stand-up. Not that many people know about stand-up. About you. Tell us something. About you. Maybe that's why you got tricked.
Yeah.
Tell us something about you. We call him stand-up in the gym. Tell us something about Bobby. Not that many people know about Bobby.
Not that many people know.
Or whatever you want. Just don't get crazy. Don't get on. Don't have too much fun with this. You're the type to be like, one time.
I'm trying to think of a normal story. Okay. Well, I'll just say this is how my life gets. It's not normal. It's like I was in a relationship, then after the relationship, the girl I was living with for like 5 years or whatever, we broke up, and then she went on a dating reality show.
Shit.
At the time, and then I was like, cool. You're not gonna. This is gonna be embarrassing for you. But she ended up winning. And it was a very popular one at the time. So,
what is it, Room Raiders or some shit?
Huh?
I mean, what is it?
No, it was a dating one. It was when the dating shows were all
What is it,
popular.
Next?
No. Oh, coming off the bus? No.
Next.
It was a whole season. I watched every episode trying to root for her demise.
The what is it? The one that they were roommates or whatever?
No, it's like one celebrity. And I don't know why I'm playing the soda.
Oh, Flavor Flav?
No, that would have been great. No,
Which one is it?
You thought my ex is New York?
Nah. I wonder which one it is. You don't gotta say her name, but what show was it?
They're gonna know the name.
What? Oh, it was only one season or something?
It was the first season of Ray J.
Swear.
Yeah.
I never even watched it. But that was your ex?
Yeah.
Damn. Hey, that's something interesting no one knows.
I was trying to think, because I was trying to think, whatever thing I was trying to think was interesting, I was like, that's boring.
He's like, I want her to lose. He was out there at home. And no, she
Yeah,
won.
then you start seeing it turn, and I was like, oh shit, well, she's gonna win. Like around the third episode, I was like, oh, she's gonna win.
Fuck.
She's fake crying? This is good.
Who's someone that inspires you?
Um,
And why? Tell me who the person is and why. You can't say her.
Okay, no. Patrice O'Neal is a comedian that kind of just did. He should be way more famous, but he passed away. But it's like he didn't pander and do stuff to appease like whatever industry or audience or whatever. He did stuff his own way, and then people like really respected that. So I think he's someone that I look at. I listen to a lot, and he's passed away. I listen to his like radio talks all the time, just to hear his frame of mind. And his point of view is so creative, and it's like I think people really respected that, even if it wasn't what they agreed with. The fact that he was telling the truth and he was honest, that people really respected. So that's someone that I looked up to in comedy.
That's dope. I've never heard him, so
I'll send you a special. You should watch it. It's called Elephant in the Room. It's probably the best one I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah. What is it on YouTube or something?
Yeah, it's on Comedy Central.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that one for sure.
On HBO.
So we aired these on Monday. So this is like people start the week like this. Do you have a Monday ritual, anything you like to do to start off your week that makes you start just good? Anything?
No. That's why I always hated the office job, is because like you're living your weekend and you're living for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So like that's one thing I liked about comedy, is like I wanted every day to just be, you know what I mean? Like I could look forward to every day. I don't have to be looking forward
to Friday.
Saturday. To a Friday or Saturday.
Man, he dropped another one. That's a good one there.
But I also think too,
like that.
is like whatever your hesitation is, like you shouldn't be waiting there's never a right time to start something. It's always gonna feel like you need more preparation, or I need to wait for this time period. It's just like, just do it. And then like if you make it a habit, then you'll continue to do it. And if like that's the one thing with comedy, it's like I was real hesitant because I was like, oh, this needs to be better. I need to wait for there are more people in the audience. It's like, no, you just do it. And then now every Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, this is what I do. I go to these open mics, and that just becomes a part of your life. And it's not such a big thing in your head. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
So
I like that. Is there anything else you want to add before we end this? Anything you want to say? Anything?
No, I appreciate you having me on, man.
Oh, man.
And
appreciate you.
Yeah, dude. This gym, since I came in here, it was weird because I found you on Instagram because I was thinking about joining the gym again.
Yeah.
And I saw your Instagram clips, and then I was like, oh, this dude really knows what he's doing. You know, because I didn't even know this gym was right here. I would have came here a long time ago. So now it's definitely helped my mental and everything, and just being able to come here in a positive environment and everything, because the comedy thing is a very lonely thing. you know, whether you do good or bad, is drives home from Oregon or from wherever you're at. So you get a lot of time to think and stuff. So it's just definitely help with, you know, mitigating those negative thoughts or anything like that.
No, I appreciate you. We love to have you here, man. Everyone here always brings you up. Even there was a time when you were gone for a couple days or a week, and everyone's like, "Yo, where's stand-up been?" I'm like, "Yo, you know this quiet ass stand-up at 5:30 not being here because 5." But it's because your presence. You don't even have to say nothing. You have a good presence to you. You have a good energy to you, and I love that about you. And that's
I was gonna message you one time because I don't want you to think I'm just start eating. You know, it's like, oh, this fool just fell off. Because I was in Vegas or something. Like if I'm going out of town, I'm like, oh, I should just tell you so you don't think I'm just like bitching out and not coming.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So no, I'm saying though, people besides just the trainers and stuff, like members in class and just different people were like, yo, we're stand-up band. But that's how you know, like, your presence is known when you're here without even saying anything. It's just who you are. And I think that's dope. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the opportunity you gave me to be at
you did a great job, man.
At the Crest. I mean, that's crazy. So the fact that I was able to do that, all that was all because of you.
I kept telling people.
Not because I was good.
Other people kept asking me other comments like, who's that Jose Morales? I was like, he's an LA comic, bro. You don't even know. Like, they didn't know. This is a headshot, so they didn't know. So they're like, who is that dude? I'm like, you ain't heard Jose Morales? He's huge in LA, dude.
Yeah, what the
monster, bro. Like, they don't know. People don't know who people is. Like, oh, all right.
Yeah, hey, everyone was cracking up because it was like you put me with all these real ass good comedians, and then it was me. And I was like, shit.
That's a crazy environment to have for your first time.
No, yeah, it was amazing. I'm glad. And again, that was all because of you. So thank you for that. How do people stay in touch with you? How can people?
On Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff at Bobby Omoto. And yeah, that's it. Or I have a website, robertomoto.com.
Oh, that's a good
I usually
one.
update my calendar on that stuff, so it's pretty up to date.
Where's your next show?
Next week. I thought I was gonna do this I thought I was gonna memorize this before I came up here, but that's
horrible.
That's how bad I am. And then I'll try to check in when I come in.
So
here.
how often? Yeah, your ass never does that. And I always like, yo, Bobby, did you check in? He's like, oh, no.
Because it's like a weird, that's the only power I can have over you. I'm like, you be telling me to check in, and I know everyone does it. I'm like, I'm gonna irritate this one. I'm coming here. I was like, and sometimes I'm in the booking window, and I'll be like, man, fuck that. I'll come in. It's like. I'm
gonna get this. I'm gonna make his ass run. Or something.
No, because sometimes I don't want to check in, and then I already gave you this. You don't believe me, so whatever.
This is an excuse. He's like, if I check in, I feel like I have to go. He's like, then I can kind of bitch out. But that's the point.
Because no, I don't want sometimes something comes up, and I don't want. If I cancel, does it pop up on your thing?
It pops up.
Yeah.
Bobby canceled.
And don't you have a thought in your head like, oh,
yeah,
I'm
like this little bitch. This little bitch.
See, I'm not overthinking it. See, if I never do, it's a surprise. Like, you came through.
I'm joking. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't pop up?
It says canceled. Yes, it does.
Does the name pop up?
It says your name, and then it says canceled.
You don't think nothing when someone does that?
I don't think nothing. You know what? Never mind.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I know what Paul's like. He's like, oh, this little... That's what I picture. I picture you sitting in your truck,
and then
in your air-conditioned truck, you know what I mean? Right here, in the shade, in the only parking spot with the shade. He parks on the side of the building, all right? Let you know, there's a lot of parking spots out there, and it doesn't even say reserved. He just parks there. And which he should be towed, by the way. I try to tell these other people that his ass should be towed. They just can't whoop your ass. That's why they don't tell you. He parks right there and he sits there and you're making your videos and then you see my notification pop up. And that's what I picture you seeing it. And you're like, oh, this little
canceled.
Yeah.
I'm like,
as you're eating some Chick-fil-A, you're eating some nuggets.
Chick-fil-A, drinking a Dutch Rose.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this motherfucker canceled. Nah.
I'll check in more.
Yeah, check in more. So, when's your next show? You need to tell us.
Oh, I'm gonna be in Nevada.
Give us your next few shows.
Nevada, Stockton. Oh, I'm back at the Crest Theater on the.
When you're in the Crest? That's a good show. If you haven't been to the Crest is a good theater. I mean, it's historical. I love the Crest. Give us that Crest date.
The 15th. With Josh Prey. He's big on Facebook and social media.
Okay.
So I'm opening for him.
What day is that? Is that a Friday?
15th. It's a Friday.
Friday?
Laughs Unlimited on the 14th. So in Nevada on the 8th, Stockton on the 9th, Laughs Unlimited on the 14th, and then Crest Theater on the 15th. And then
boom.
Kind of a bunch of other random spots. But they'll all be on my calendar.
So if you need to go holler at him, check his calendar. All right, my man Bobby, thank you for coming on. I hope you guys have a great week. If you like this episode, you gained something from this episode, like, share, review, send it to somebody you know. Maybe somebody you know that's trying to get into comedy and doesn't know how. He just told you how. He just explain it to you. No one's gonna come watch you and be like, hey, you're funny, you should come do it. You gotta go looking for it. So thank you for coming on, Bobby. Thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you guys next week. Deuces, we're out.